before we go ripping on Whitey, the twin turbo 5.2, we gotta put a fuel system in him because our Walbro 450 that we installed in the tank is not kicking it, and it kind of died on us. So we will be installing a full fuel system right now before we can go drive the truck. We got a beautiful fuel cell right here, and we got a bunch of other fuel parts chilling over on the table from our guys Evil Energy. As you guys can see on the bench, all the lines, all the filters, all the pumps, and everything we need to install a really big fuel system in this truck. This fuel system should be able to support about 1,000 wheel horsepower on E85 and 1,200 wheel horsepower on pump gas. So let's go over a little bit how we're gonna run this fuel system and look at the Evil Energy fuel system a little bit more in depth. So we got chilling right here is our pre-filters. These are actual filters before our fuel pumps. These are 100 micron rating, E85 rated fuel pumps. They are stainless steel mesh on the inside and are serviceable. You can take them apart, clean them out. They should last forever. So we'll have two 10AN lines going to two pre-filters, and then going from that we will be going to two 300 liter per hour Evil Energy fuel pumps, which are chilling right here, these awesome little inline pumps. Then from that we'll have a Y going to a single 10AN 10 micron post filter right here from our guys Evil Energy. We got all our lines, we got our 10A lines, we got all these beautiful blue and red fittings. Then we have our 6AN lines right here, again with all our beautiful blue and red fittings. We have our awesome fuel pressure regulator kit chilling right here, again Evil Energy. This is actually a boost reference fuel pressure regulator that will actually up fuel pressure for every pound of boost. Then we just have some miscellaneous fittings and stuff, also from Evil Energy, to finish off the build. So guys, if you guys need an awesome fuel system or you need AN lines, go check out Evil Energy. They're supporting this build. You guys should go support them as well. We've used their lines as our oil feed and return lines on the Whitey build, and they've been holding up great. I've also used their product on my turbo SRT10 Ram, making 1,000 horsepower, and they have been holding up great. I've had their lines on there for over 2 years. I've had nothing but greatness with them. So guys, again, go check out Evil Energy and go pick up some AN lines or fuel system parts. They have a lot of products and they're all budget minded and they all work amazing.
Fuel tank's out.
So yeah, we got the fuel tank out, guys. It's on the ground. We got the spare tire out. We got the winch out, a spare tire, and we just got a bunch of other stuff to pull out from underneath the Whitey, like the stock fuel line, just some bracketry that's in the way, and a bunch of other stuff while we get a rust bath underneath him because his rusty crusty butt is just losing weight by the minute.
But that's okay because that's all weight reduction, dude.
Yeah, we're going for super lightweight.
In a truck.
Yes. So we're gonna get the fuel lines out, the stock fuel lines. We're gonna get a lot of other stuff out of the way. Then we got some mods we have to do to the fuel cell that we'll show you guys here in about 2 seconds. We got our fuel cell chilling right here. We have a few mods that we need to do. There is a foam piece inside the fuel cell itself, which I'm about to pull out. So after painstakingly removing it from this tiny hole, we got that slosh mat out that will disintegrate it under E85. If we were running regular gasoline, it would be great. But since we're running ethanol, ethanol will eat this alive. So this goes right in the wee pile of garbage. Oh, it missed. I still want to run our factory level sensor on the cluster, so we're going to steal the level gauge out of our fuel pump right here, this guy, and we're going to mount it in the fuel cell so we have actual precise fuel level metering. So guys, we got our stock fuel sending units onto this plastic bit from the fuel cell. We have one zip tie holding it on, and it's really solid because it actually locks in there pretty good. We are going to have to JB weld the top where the wires come through because we drilled a hole to run the wires through, of course, and we're going to throw some JB weld around the plastic just to make sure this does not move ever. JB weld works really good with fuel. You just have to make sure it's fully cured before you actually touch fuel on it, because if you touch fuel on it while it's in the curing process, it will just melt away. So that's what we got sitting on top of our little ATF pile right here. We're going to mix this up, stab it on there, and call it good. So it's that time, guys. We're going to start drilling and cutting the hole out in the bed for the fuel cell to run the fuel lines out. There is a little dip on the tank right here as kind of a little reservoir or where fuel will sit at the lowest spot. Plus it's on the back of the truck, so when we launch, all the fuel will be going back, feeding the pump so we don't starve them. The only issue with this setup would be braking hard. It might starve it because it could all fold to the front. We're going to start ripping this bed open, drilling a hole, and then air sawing it out.
nice and purdy.
Probably died a little bit.
Yeah.
OCD. But let's see if the fuel cell fits.
Let's check this boy's fitment.
Oh, that looks beautiful. Perfect. Just not that flat. It's just all dented up. So you got a little rock. But we'll bolt it down. I think we're gonna weld some flat plates on here, guys. Like across the bridges, so it's more solid. We got those plates cut out, as you can see. We got the tank centered up, we got the plates centered up, and we're gonna start welding it into place right now. We got the fuel cell installed. We got our little plates welded on here. We got this bolted on so it's pinching between the actual bed and these welded 1/8 inch plates, so it's not going anywhere. It is solid as a rock, isn't it, JT?
Oh yes.
We had to cut this hole a little bigger so we could fit our AM lines in there. Nice, our fittings in there. We got the pumps and stuff built over here. We got all our fittings installed on the pumps and the filters and everything in between. These awesome Evil Energy pumps. We got the fittings on our fuel filters, and we got a bunch of Evil Energy brackets for the actual pumps and filters to mount them to the frame, so we don't have to build brackets. We just have to mount these little brackets on the frame of the truck and build a ton of lines.
You forgot something on the tank.
Oh yeah, we got the fuel level sender installed on the tank. As you can just see the 2 wires poking out of it. We got that modified and put in there, so we just have to wire that into the truck, and we'll have still on our factory dash a fuel level gauge. So
Heck yeah.
we didn't need that, but it's a lot nicer to have it, to know how much fuel you have.
Yeah, that's convenient.
Yeah, so all this is just a tab. You turn it this way and then it pulls straight up, and then there's our beautiful tank where our fuel goes. So we're gonna get the truck up on the hoist, start building lines, start mounting pumps, start mounting filters, and hopefully we'll have our fuel rails here later today as well. We got the truck lifted up. We're in the middle of the frame right now. Our fuel cell's back there. We just got our 2 pre-filters, our 100 micron pre-filters installed with these brackets. So now we're gonna be building lines from all the way back here, right there, so where the tank is, all the way around and all the way up there. So we're gonna show you guys how to build some lines right now, how to build some AN fuel lines, and show you guys how to do this, because this is actually pretty important if you guys are going to build a truck, especially with some higher horsepower. 90% of the time you gotta upgrade the factory fuel system because it's trash, so gotta upgrade lines, because 3/8 feed line ain't gonna cut it when you're making like 500 plus horsepower. So here's our 10 AN line. I'm gonna hand the camera on to JT, and we're gonna go.
Hello.
So we got our fitting, our 10 AN bend, so we're gonna first put this fitting on. So we got our installed, we're gonna come over to our vise. So we're gonna disassemble our fitting. There's gonna be a lock collar in here. That's the most important part. So we got the actual nut, and then we have the lock collar right here. We're gonna take this guy out, and this is just from packaging. These like to get smushed. We're gonna take our electrical tape off. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna stab this guy over the whole line, the sheathing and everything. So this is a PTFE line, so it doesn't have rubber in it. It's actually a plastic line, which is way better for E85, which is the fuel we will be running. So we're gonna pull the sheathing back right there. Just like that. Then we're gonna take our fitting, and you can see it's tapered right there. We're going to take the side that has the little taper into it and put it in just like that. Then we're going to take it up against the bench and push it all the way down. Then we're going to double check it, make sure there's plastic all the way up to the tippy top of it, which there is. Then we're going to take our piece here and install it, flare it out, just like that. Then pull this out. Double checking our plastic still all the way to the tippy top, which it is. Then we're going to take our line, Push that in there. And then now it's pretty much just tighten the nut up.
And normally you would use AN wrenches for this?
Yeah, so you don't scratch the fittings. But normal wrenches work. And then we're just gonna tighten this guy up. Go buy some AN line wrenches.
Facts.
So then we're gonna get this. These don't have to be ridiculously tight because it is aluminum and we don't want to break it off. So pretty much tighten it down until you can feel it bottom out, which is right there. And then we're just gonna do probably an 1/8 turn right here. Just like that.
That was more like a quarter, but
Yeah, quarter, 1/8 turn after snug. And there you go. So there's our first line. So now we're gonna get this installed onto the fuel cell side of it, get our lining run, and then we'll show you how to cut this and put another fitting on. So we got our line ran all the way from the tank over to our first fuel filter. And what we're gonna do is right now hold it up and then mark it with electrical tape, and then I'll show you guys how we're gonna cut it. And so we got it marked with our black electrical tape where we wanna cut it. We're gonna use a bandsaw to cut it. You could also use an angle grinder and just chop it, or a chop saw, or anything. I just like the bandsaw the best. And just like that, we repeat the whole process, put another fitting on and do it again. So we're gonna sit here and tackle down this fuel system. We'll get you guys updated when we get to the pump section.
So guys, we've been working on the truck a little bit more, and we got a few lines ran for fuel itself, and then a few wires ran.
For the dual fuel pumps. We got the relays mounted on the truck bed, and we have our wiring ran from the batteries for, of course, the positive terminals for the fuel pumps that aren't here yet because we're waiting on a few fittings to come in the mail, and we're waiting on our billet fuel rails. So we're just cleaning up the short stuff like wiring and return lines and some other stuff until we can get those billet fuel rails. So a relay is just pretty much to be able to control a big load with a small load. So we're controlling the fuel relays, the 2 fuel pump relays with the actual old fuel pump relay wiring for the old fuel pump. So these will actually drive and turn them, both these relays on, and they will give power to the pumps, and we'll ground the pumps to the frame. So these right here, we're gonna wire these 2 black wires into this black wire, and then these 2 white wires right here into the green wire, and then our relays will click when we turn the key on, and whenever the PCM tells the fuel pumps turn on. The other thing we're doing down here too is we're taking these 2 little wires. So these were our fuel level sending unit wires. So we're gonna run these all the way back to the fuel cell, make a little harness, and then run it all the way back to the fuel cell, because you guys saw us modify the fuel sending unit so we could put it in the fuel cell, so we'll still have the factory dash fuel level, so we won't be guessing how much fuel we have in that fuel cell. We'll always know. Alright, so we got the wiring up there, as you guys can see. We're going to attach it to these little wires from these brown wires, which are attached to the fuel level sending unit wiring underneath the truck. So guys, if you want to pick up a t-shirt, check out this little video clip right here. Roll the clip! So guys, again, if you guys want to pick up a Racing Ram Fam t-shirt, email keepitboosted@racingramfam.com. But as always guys, keep it boosted, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace!